Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that it's still, for now, it's happening twice a week.
You're teasing them.
I'm teasing them.
Yeah.
I'm teasing them. It's happening twice a week. It's Monday.
Happy Wednesday.
Oh, shit. It's true other shit Monday.
Yeah. We're going totally off the scale. Who knows?
Totally.
Who knows where we're going to wind up?
I should prank call old elementary school teachers.
You know what?
Have you ever wondered how many of your teachers are dead now that you've had throughout the...
Yeah. It's kind of a depressing thought. And I also wonder how, like, when I was a kid... my teachers all seem really old, but like now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, oh yeah, like some of those teachers were my age now.
I can think of a handful of teachers I had that were in their 30s.
Did you have a lot of older teachers?
A lot of older teachers, Yep. For the most part. I mean, maybe in high school it was a little closer, but like elementary school, middle school was like pretty much all older people.
Really?
Yeah.
They seem to have gotten older for me when I was in high school. But like when I was in second grade, third grade, like I had a string of teachers that were pregnant, like having their first babies, I remember. So.
Oh, man, because I remember my kindergarten teacher, she had to be in her 40s. My first grade teacher had to be in her 60s.
It was a requirement.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember like Miss Michaela was old as shit back then. So
she's dead.
Yeah, she's got to be dead. No, there's no doubt that she's dead.
We're actually broadcasting live from her gravesite.
And then Miss Prater was pretty old. My second grade teacher, like more than likely she's dead now. If she's not, it's any day now.
That sounds like a Christian transformer. Praetor.
Let's see. In third grade, she's still alive. She was in her 40s. Her son graduated with me, so she's still alive. She was one of my favorite teachers ever, Ms. Luker. Fourth grade, who did I have in fourth grade? No. I had her in fourth grade.
No, she's
I'm sorry. People writing this down. For Phil writing this down. My third grade teacher was also probably in her 40s. Hated her, still hate her. Followed her to high school. Like we still gave each other like dirty glances. Like. Well, this woman and I, even like, I don't know what kind of person makes an enemy out of a third grader,
What
but
happened?
like, man, she was just always just so, I remember just so fucking mean. Like my parents, like I'd never been a problem kid, but like with this teacher, we had multiple meetings and yeah, it was just bad. It was just bad. And every other year, totally fine. Fourth grade, perfect. Fifth grade, fine. Just third grade was awful because this woman and I were just, no, not having it.
So she's alive?
She's alive.
For those playing at home, we need to
sadly,
know.
she is still alive.
So we could prank call her if you want.
That'd be great.
You want to look her up real quick?
I'm friends with her daughter on Facebook. So what's your mom's phone number?
How's her daughter? Pretty nice?
Her daughter's pretty great. Yeah, she's pretty great.
Well, that's good. So she must have a good dad, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. Basically. That's basically all it is. No, I see everybody else loves this woman.
Yeah.
Everyone at like some of their favorite teachers. And if I ever got her in high school, I immediately transferred out of her class. Immediately.
Do you think you're mortal enemies just from like a former life or something like that?
Maybe. It's got to be carried over. But let's see. We got some talking points.
Yeah, I sent you some. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how those would go.
Okay.
We got a package from Tony.
We got some calls. Yeah, and we do have a package.
Yeah, which we really need to open because I think Impresario Tony's feelings were hurt that we didn't open his package last time. He apparently he sent this before Phil had sent his. So there's a letter.
So here's a letter. Dear Tyler and Dave, I thought I would send you guys a taste of the Mid-Atlantic. Enclosed, you will find several examples of my favorite snacks from Hare's, H-E-R-R, Hare's.
Just a box of hair.
Hare's Potato Chip Company,
Okay.
as well as from Utz to compare. Hare and Utz.
Utz?
Utz. UTZ.
Is there
I'm
a
familiar.
umlaut in there?
Umlaut Utz. I wanted to say thank you for all the hard work. Now I'm just
You Donald Trump?
thank you for all the hard work you guys are putting in. You're fabulous. Your dicks are huge. And look forward to many more excellent episodes in the future.
I think I'm going to change how I vote based on that. That made me feel good.
It's okay. I tell people I'm for Bernie Sanders when I'm voting for Trump. It's fine.
Look, if any of the candidates ever were like, "Hey, this guy's got a big one," I'll probably vote for him.
I've seen a few political cartoons with like people leaning over. Which one had the biggest dick again? Okay. With love from Maryland, Tony. Small sketch of a penis.
Okay.
P.S. Play Star Control for the Genesis.
Star Control
Star
for the
Control.
Genesis. It's got to be better than Evo.
All right. So the first one I pulled out here, jalapeno, I believe. Hare's jalapeno poppers flavored cheese curls. And for the Morales, who we're talking about, his wife made a comment like, "Are they just reading off the ingredients for snack foods?" Yeah.
Yep. That's what we do. So we got to continue that.
Yeah.
Hey, she did say at least they're funny. So that's like we're doing better than I thought. So what's in that? Anything?
It's a pretty funny shit.
Any chuckle worthy stuff?
Cornmeal,
Oh,
vegetable oil, maltodextrin.
yeah.
Yeah.
These are falling flat, man. I'm not feeling it.
Monosodium glutamate, MSG.
Not feeling the goofs.
All
What's the calorie count on these?
Let's see. Serving size is 1 ounce,
Okay.
about 15 curls. In this bag are about 2. And each serving is 160 calories.
There's 2 curls in there? Just two giant
curls. 2 ounces.
All right.
There you go. Hand this over there to you.
I've taken the route of not eating a whole lot on Sundays now.
Okay. I don't like Cheetos, but these are pretty good.
These are good.
These are pretty good.
You know what? I need to redact because remember when we did. You remember when we talked about our buddy Chester Cheetah?
Uh-huh.
I talked about not liking Cheetos that much. I actually like them okay. Nikki brought home a bag. It was weird. It was like, because I even asked her, I was like, she brought a bag home, like probably just a week after we did the Chester Cheetah game.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you listening to the show again or something? She's like, no, I just wanted Cheetos. I was like, well, let me try these Cheetos. Yeah, all right. They're not that bad.
Because I forget what the year is. Like every 7 years or so, your tastes change. So maybe your taste went down back. The downgrade
Cheetos is back in, man. Okay, these are good. I like these.
All right, now, Hare's Old Bay seasoned cheese curls, oven baked with real cheese. This one, about the same calories, 160 per 15 curls, 2 servings. Cheese curl with genuine Old Bay.
Are you familiar with Old Bay? I've heard Tony talk about Old Bay a lot.
Old Bay is good shit.
What is it?
It's
Just a seasoning?
It's a seasoning. Yeah, it's a very distinct seasoning. It's huge in Maryland, all over the Eastern Seaboard, really.
Okay, is it like spicy or anything? Or
A little bit.
okay. Are you familiar with Tony's seasoning? Not Impresario Tony, but like a New Orleans seasoning.
I don't think so.
I'd be interested in getting some cheese curls with some Tony's. Let me try this Old Bay.
Very different from the last cheese curl.
Yeah.
Also, also good. Also enjoy it. Makes me.
Yeah.
I'm so used to Old Bay with seafood. Like, immediately makes me like feel like I'm tasting seafood.
Yeah.
But good. Good.
Makes me want some crab or something.
Okay, I see this in here, Dave. This is great. This is
Okay.
for you. He has included a framed picture Dave's favorite picture of all time.
I'm putting this. This is gonna be on my desk at work. That's not a joke. I'm putting this up at my desk. I don't have any photographs of my wife or my child at work, but I am gonna have this.
Which it was the original picture was seen on like DeviantArt of like Garfield and his big belly, and it's Garfield wearing like Tobias style short denim shorts, and his big belly is hanging over his shorts, and looks very upset about it. He's holding in his stomach. So then Tony photoshopped in just this giant orange dick over the shorts. It's a great picture. I know it's in the show notes before, probably a few times.
Oh, I'm gonna put it in the show notes for this episode. If you want to see this, I'm gonna take a photograph of this before I put it on my desk at work. So, tadpog.com. Thank you, Tony. This is amazing. Garfield and his big wiener by Tony.
I'm going to mix this one up in the middle. The next one is Utz, the crab chip potato chips.
The crab chip?
The crab chip.
Oh, I know that brand because of the girl on it with the bow on her hair.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
She's Utz.
That girl's so Utz.
Fraulein Utz. Mein Liebchen Fraulein Utz. Pack this over to you.
All right.
Try the crab chip.
With Chesapeake Bay crab seasoning. Okay.
I'm not a big of a fan of these.
Yeah, I like these.
To me, it feels like it's a little too subtle for a potato chip.
Oh, okay. See, I like that, though. Because, like, I don't know. I want to try that Old Bay and some actual seafood, I guess, because it felt, in those cheese curls, it was, like, overpowering.
Mm-hmm. Next time I have a kitchen to work out of with all my stuff, I'll make something with it.
Okay. These are good. I like these. Oots.
Oots. All right, so then I'll vary it up again with Hare's Kettle Cooked Jalapeno Flavored. Doesn't say what they are, but they're potato chips.
It's just things. You open it, it's just like things flavored jalapeno.
It's like a toy soldier.
Yeah, paperclip. One of those little fortune-telling things that girls make out of paper.
Yeah. What's your favorite color? BLUE. Oh, you're going to marry the really gross girl and have 18 kids.
Kettle cooked.
I do like kettle cooked.
Uh-huh. These are good.
Yeah.
They taste like,
The jalapeno kind we normally have.
yeah, Kirchhoff's. I can't remember what brand it is.
Yeah. Good, though.
I think that might actually just be Kettle Cooked brand. Is that a brand?
Yeah, I think just Kettle brand. Yeah.
Kettle brand, that's it. Yeah, these are good. I like these.
I don't really like potato chips now that aren't either baked or kettle cooked. And the last in this wonderful package, I gotta say, Tony bringing it really strong. Old Bay seasoned potato chips. Hare's brand.
Hare.
Smells good. These are 150 per ounce.
Any funny
13 chips.
ingredients in there?
Oh shit! Choice potatoes.
Knuckle bones.
Widow tears.
All right, let's see. Oh, okay. They actually have a photograph
So I
of
know
the
you've seen it in
Old
the
Bay.
store
Yeah,
before.
I've seen the packaging on this.
I like those more than the crab chips. The flavor's certainly stronger.
Yeah,
So I like it more, so you don't like it as much.
yeah, it's a little too strong for me. I like them better than the cheese curls, though.
See, I've spent most of my youth working in silver mines, so
Right. Right.
my sense of taste has been
A
dull.
little known fact. Now you work in the amiibo mine.
That joke stolen from that however many days to die in the West. That
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
I enjoyed it actually.
I'd like to. That's what? Seth MacFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane, yep, and Charlize Theron, and Neil Patrick Harris.
DeGrasse Tyson.
Almost said DeGrasse Tyson.
I think Ralph Garman is in that as well. He's
The guy who created all the map systems, all the GPS systems.
yes.
Ralph Garman.
Mr. Garman.
Jokes on dad jokes. But thank Tony, that was not a dud in the bunch.
No, it was good. That was good. And thanks, Tony. You're really going to confuse all of my coworkers, and I appreciate it.
Well, what do you want to start out with now? You want to talk?
Yeah, let's talk.
Just talk.
Talk.
We just don't ever just sit down and just talk anymore.
We really don't. You're joking, but we really do not. Like this is our opportunity to just talk about things.
Yeah.
It was actually really cool when because we both showed up at the high rise at the same time, and I felt like we had a very real moment because like we both just got out of our cars. We just happened to both get here at the same exact time. We got out of our cars, and you're like, "What's up?" It's like, "Yeah, this feels like college." Like,
I'm like this doesn't feel right if there's a microphone not in front of me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go inside.
yeah, we did, and then we walked in silence into Ryan's house and then up the stairs. All right. There's a segment where every now and then, it's pretty rare, but every now and then we make mistakes on the show.
What?
Every now and then we make mistakes on the show.
No.
And it's sometimes it's brought to my attention. Sometimes I just realize it myself. Two things I realized myself. Last episode, I referenced someone named John Caliendo. Not a person. Maybe it's a person. Maybe
it's got to be a person.
He's a real estate agent in Tucson. But what I meant to say was Frank Caliendo, the dude from Mad TV. I mixed him up with John Madden, who's famous
his most
for
famous
doing,
character.
right.
Yeah.
So my apologies to you, Mr. Caliendo. I'm sure. Now this is cleared up. You can come on the show.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's why he was scheduled to come on.
I know.
It didn't. It backed out.
No, it's bad news. And also because I honestly felt bad about this when we talked about workaholics, and of course the three ninjas grow up and become the three guys from Workaholics. I felt really bad that I could not remember the name of the third guy, fluffy hair, and so I had to look it up.
Blake?
Yes, Blake Anderson.
Okay.
So I felt bad about that. So I wanted to
Blake's not really a name that sticks with you.
I know.
It's fine.
And then when I realized his name, it's like, oh right, Blake. I should probably know that because of Oathbreaker, Blake Woods. But whatever.
I'll remember him when he remembers to listen. It's fine. It's fine.
I forgot to read. Man, I did. I got an earful on TADPOG chat about things, transgressions that have occurred. One of those transgressions was that Exalted Lord Mike of Purdue had posted a Would You Rather on Facebook. And I think I saw him post this while I was at work. And sometimes what happens is when I see a post at work, I don't reply to it.
Because you're at work.
Because I'm at work. So I guess I'd like to read that on the show.
Okay.
So that we can figure out. So it's going to take me a moment to find it because I'm super prepared.
So this must be it for him to go out of his way. This must be good.
Oh, it has to be.
Everyone brace yourself for what is surely a legendary just would you rather of such epic proportions. It's going to blow our minds and your minds. Quite possibly the greatest question to decide between two different factors, both equally so painful and torturous, that has come just straight off the dome of Exalted Lord Mike of Purdue.
Keep going. I haven't found it yet.
Okay, because I see you furiously scrolling
you're doing good.
on your iPad.
Yeah.
I see so many scrolls going up and down and sideways. Pokes with your fingers. I can only imagine you finger a girl like a boss with those
Yeah.
your manual dexterity. If only all vaginas are flat.
I can't fucking find it.
Well, the best Would You Rather ever lost to time.
It is. It's lost to time. Okay, here we go. Tyler and Dave. You ready for the best one ever?
Best ever. Everybody sit down, put in some headphones if you're listening out loud. It's gonna be solid.
And I actually did reply to this on Facebook the next day. I guess that wasn't good enough for him. So Exalted Lord Mike, if I'm reading the wrong Would You Rather, let me know. But he asked, so I replied.
He will.
Yeah. Tyler and Dave, would you rather eat Phil's bars or Micah's spam? I don't want to influence you, so I won't tell you what I said.
I feel like Micah's spam was better, but didn't make me feel as bad. Or like they tasted better, but I felt worse after. Or I guess Phil's stuff tasted worse, but it's made of things that are more wholesome, so I didn't feel bad afterward. So it's because it's pretty much a toss-up.
Like psychologically, you didn't feel as bad, or
Like
physiologically?
my tummy.
Yeah, okay.
My tum-tums.
Tum-tums. Yeah. You're tired of myrtleizing your stomach lining?
Yeah. Because take how much you're supposed to have normal bowel movements and the rarity of diarrhea and just switch that up for me, and that's just how it is. I'm surprised when I don't have diarrhea. Today's going to be a good day. Ugh, I'm going to have to say Phil's wholesome snacks. In my 20s, I would have said Spam, but in my 30s, I have to go wholesome snacks.
They were both awful, but I had to go with Phil's as well. Just because, man, maybe if that Spam... I hear if we had cooked that Spam, it would have been a different story.
I do remember fried Spam being totally different.
And I was going to say I would try that, but I don't really want to try it. And I feel like if I say I would try that, then someone's going to request that we eat fried Spam.
Then we have to fry the Spam.
I don't even want to try it.
If we wanted to set up like an omelet station in the next TADPOG annex we have, we'll set up like an omelet station where somebody who wants to try fried Spam can come in, fry it live on the air, and serve it to us. And then we'll eat it. It'll be great.
That's our actual entree at TADPOG Prom, which we haven't mentioned in a while.
Yeah, I love the Spam station. All manner of Spam and Spam sandwiches. Just, it's best for an orgy if you just really eat a lot of Spam and get that Spam sheen to your body.
Spam and kettle chips. Yeah. And finally, I offended somebody.
What?
I offended Sandwich Pope Phil. I did not include the drawing that he did of dicks on the back of the quiz that we took last episode. So that's going to be in the show notes. I do not know if that's going to go on Facebook or not because of all the nanas and the grams. So I don't know.
We need to start that Tadpog Instagram.
Yeah.
And then put all these on there too. I'm assuming you can have it. I know you can't have nudes on Instagram.
Can you not? Then what's
I think
the
you
point?
can on Twitter, but not on Instagram.
I know you can on Twitter.
Yeah, there was that big series. I remember I was watching Chelsea Does on Netflix.
Yeah.
And she thanked the CEO of Twitter for letting her be naked there because she tried to post a picture of herself topless posing like Vladimir Putin, and it got taken down.
On Instagram it did?
Uh-huh.
So when's their Tadpog Snapchat when we doing that?
Shit, man, it's a whole other can of worms there, man.
And Tadpog Periscope?
I had Snapchat for a little while just because I don't know what this is. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then when Terry wrote to Facebook,
I want to see titties. I'm getting it.
I saw nothing. But then again, the only people on my friends list were Jacob's roommate Lee and Taryn.
Yeah.
So
well, one of those people probably would be down. Lee. Lee, put yo tits in camera.
Yeah, we really know you're not listening, but Jacob might tell you.
So check the show notes. I'll put Phil's dicks in the show notes. And if I'm feeling frisky, I'll put it on Facebook and tag Phil in it.
And his wife, just in case Phil doesn't get it immediately.
And Bulbasaur.
So then Bulbasaur will get it, and then she could alert Phil like, "Hey, look, it's here." It'd be like Christmas. She'll appreciate being a part of the moment.
Let's celebrate this over lunch today.
Go ahead, bring our son to the office, and we'll all look at this while we eat sandwiches.
And kettle cook Old Bay seasoned chips.
In Oregon, they don't even know what Old Bay is.
They don't have bays in Oregon.
No, none.
They don't. They're all new bays, actually.
I posted a video on Phil's wall that it was Game Theory. Now it's another channel, Film Theory, that Matt Pat does, where he broke down where the Simpsons must be located, where Springfield must be. And it was a very compelling argument, breaking all the facts that weren't clearly jokes. And he was able to narrow it down to Oregon, where Springfield has to be, which is where Matt Groening is from. So it makes sense.
That makes sense. Is there a Springfield, Oregon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Well, I'm just going to poke a big old hole in that theory.
Because I remember him being on Portlandia.
Matt Groening was? Oh, sweet. Which I either didn't know it was him or haven't seen that season yet.
It was because a guy wanted to make a spin-off Simpsons t-shirt about Bart Scompson because he's really into ska music.
No, I haven't seen this, but I need to.
Yeah,
I'm behind on Portlandia.
It's pretty good.
I need to catch up.
So then they get in a copyright battle over who has rights to The Simpsons.
Awesome. Yes, I need to see this. That's all the things. That's all the things that we fucked up.
Okay.
That's pretty.
Just last week.
Pretty good. We're doing good.
What else is on your mind?
I have something that's really on my mind. And
Okay.
I want to.
What really grinds your gears, Dave?
This doesn't grind my gears. I just don't understand it.
Okay.
Okay. So the new
lasers.
Yeah.
Lasers.
What's up with lasers? With t-shirts underneath them? What are we, Chuck Woolery? What's going on? Do you know that there's a Ghostbusters movie that's coming out?
I do. The all girl.
Yeah, the
Ghostbusters
female cast, which that was a big deal. I remember when that was announced, people kind of got upset. Which I feel like the female members of the SNL cast are probably just more marketable, like because their movies are good.
Yeah.
And I think that the female cast is stronger than the male cast of SNL right now, honestly.
I completely agree with you. Yeah.
So it makes sense to me. So and that's always just kind of my thing where it's like, it just kind of makes sense to me that it would be an all female cast because if they're picking from SNL cast, I were doing it, I'd be like, oh, I want the funny ones, please, in the movie. That would be great if I could have the funny ones. But there's a new trailer that came out this week, and the internet fucking hates it. I knew it was out because when I logged in to Facebook, that's all my feed was just post after post after post about how horrible this trailer is. And I watched it. I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't either.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I'm with you. I did not. And I liked it on the fact that trailers now, I feel like, give away way too much of the movie. Way, way, way too much. And I feel like watching that, I feel like it didn't give away a lot. You know, it gave you enough and enough funny things and an introduction. Like I'm totally okay with that trailer. And I will go see Ghostbusters I'll go see it in the theater.
Yeah, I will too. I don't know. I don't understand. I honestly don't. I don't understand. Like, I really want to know what people didn't like about it because I think it's just, I guess it's just a difference in taste, and it's like something that can't be explained. Because like when
is it a total revamping of the Ghostbusters series, or is it just like a reimagining? Like if it didn't happen in the 80s, if it happened now, and if they were girls. And
well, in the trailer they talk, the part of the trailer that I didn't like is like the real sad like piano music, like the Final Fantasy IX style of like, oh, it's so sad, 20 years ago this happened. So like, so we know that the movies happened.
Okay.
Like the two, like this is in canon, so this isn't like a reboot. Although I think it would have been interesting if they totally made it set in the 80s. I think that would be really neat.
Yeah. Still, yeah. Well, I mean, because also like they've been trying to get another Ghostbusters movie made for
a long time.
long.
Do you remember when the first-person shooter Ghostbusters game came out? The final thought on that was there is going to be no Ghostbusters 3 ever, so enjoy this game.
Yeah,
that was the thought behind that.
Yeah,
and I played it, and I was like, well, I mean,
because then I heard so many different like rumors that like a script had actually been written. Everybody was on board except Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And then Bill Murray, then he agreed to do it, but he had to die in the first 5 minutes or something like that. And then when Harold Ramis died, then it was like, okay, now that's it.
Right.
There's no more Ghostbusters. Right. So everybody wants more Ghostbusters. So like, this is the only way we were going to get it, you know?
Do you think that's maybe where some of the bad feelings are coming from? Like
absolutely,
like the lack of interest from Bill Murray and then the death of Ramis and all. Like, do you think like that has a lot to do with it?
Of it getting made, period?
No, of just like the reaction to this new movie.
I think a lot of people probably like, yeah, I think it's like spoiling a good lineage.
Yeah.
And like, of course, I mean, Ghostbusters, like I feel like I watched the second one. Like it's been a number of years, but it was still good. Everything's still good about it. So like, did it need to be redone? I mean, no, but I feel like the franchise wasn't done.
No.
Like it's one where like a third one coming out to make it a trilogy would not have been beating a dead horse. At all.
No, I think the desire for another movie was there and is there. But it is kind of weird when it's like there's so long a time. Because like the longer you wait to make the new Ghostbusters movie, like the bigger and better it has to be. It's like fucking Star Wars. It's like the hype was built up for so long of these prequels. Like I remember when I was a kid and hearing, oh yeah, well you know how A New Hope is episode 4. George Lucas has written 3 movies prior to this and we'll never get to see it. And like ever since that seed was like planted in my mind as a kid, it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna go my entire life and not know what happens in the first 3 episodes. And then they announce A New Hope and it's like, holy shit, go crazy over it. I can't wait to see this. And then it's like, just because I feel like those movies are bad. I feel very confident to say that the prequel movies are not good movies. But I think they're made worse because like I had been looking forward to that and dreaming of what that could be for years, a really long time. And I think that might be what's going on with Ghostbusters as well. It's one of those things where it's like, I remember seeing Ghostbusters 2 in the theaters. And I, since then, have been like, oh, I can't wait for the next Ghostbusters movie. And then now it's happening. And maybe it helps that I do not have my hopes up at all for the movie. And I'm not like a diehard Ghostbusters fan. Like I love Ghostbusters, but I'm not like, I don't know. I don't have like a Ghostbusters tattoo or anything, you know? I mean, it's just kind of like, yeah, I enjoy this, but I treat it as a comedy. And I guess like with comedies, I don't really have that need for there to be a great story or,
the cartoon was a bigger part of my life than the movies were.
And the cartoon was bad.
Oh, I love the cartoon. Shit, man.
The real Ghostbusters or just Ghostbusters? The one with the gorilla in it.
Oh no! Not that one though. I found out years later, like, what the shit is this?
Yeah. Wait, so you didn't see it? You didn't see it as a kid?
I saw
the one with the gorilla?
No.
Oh man, that was confusing as fuck as a kid. Because I remember like on Saturday morning, at some point, I could be wrong, and the internet will prove me wrong, but I feel like at one point in time on Saturday mornings, the real Ghostbusters was on one channel, and then the Ghostbusters, the one with the gorilla, was on another. And I remember getting confused as a kid at one point, and like, all right, Ghostbusters, what happened to Slimer? Was Slimer a gorilla before he died?
That makes sense. Makes sense.
And then that confused me about the cartoon, like the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I was like, are they not even going to explain why Slimer is like their sidekick now?
They're just like, hey, he's just hanging out. Okay, it's fine.
He's like the chosen one. Like out of all the ghosts, like he is the one we're not going to fuck with.
Is he like he's got to be the equivalent like in Django Unchained, the black slaver?
Yeah.
Like, is that what he is? Is he like the turncoat?
To ghosts? Yeah. Probably. You know what they say about John Belushi? He is the turncoat of ghosts. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's Jim.
Yeah, and not even dead yet. Yeah. Still the turncoat of ghosts.
Oh, I meant comedians. Did I say ghosts?
Human beings. So, just hearing David Cross, God, talk about Jim Belushi, it just makes you just like, man, that guy just sounds so awful.
Yeah, I know.
But
so, I don't know.
I think the reaction has got to be just because it's mostly because it's a female cast.
Yeah.
Had it come out and it been, I feel like there would have been a less harsh reaction had it been Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, Andy Samberg,
Seth
Rogen. Yeah. There would have been like, I bet still a negative reaction.
Yeah.
But it would have been less.
Yeah. Well, it did kind of feel, I mean, honestly, like I do think that when it was announced that there was an all-female cast, I didn't have a problem with it being an all-female cast. I did have a problem, and I've said this before on the show, like I don't like it when it feels like it's being done as part of a marketing move. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I took it at first. I was like, oh, well, they're just doing it to be like to sell this as a progressive Ghostbusters. And then the more I thought about it, I started to think, well, everyone in that cast is funny. I'm not a huge fan of all of them, but I will say that they're all funny. And it just makes sense. It like seems like that is a good cast to sell a movie.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with their gender. Leslie Jones, I think, is going to make this movie.
Yep.
Just like I think she is like one of my favorite cast members on SNL. I haven't watched any of this year, so I hope she's still on it.
She is.
But like every fucking sketch that she is in, I think she steals it.
No, I love Leslie Jones.
She steals the show. So I don't know. I've heard people say that the comedy in the trailer seems kind of like lowbrow. And I agree with that. I do think it does seem lowbrow, but I don't really think that the comedy in Ghostbusters was really highbrow.
No, it wasn't. No, I'm with you. And then, because I don't know, it's hard for me to peg down when it started, but I feel like, at least in my memory, whenever Adam Carolla came out just saying that female comedians were not as funny, girls by nature were not as funny as men, and I feel like that's when there was sort of this heavy kickback to like, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And then that's when I feel like there was just this huge stream of female comedic talent that has been like, that's fucking on point. Like, I think I'm with you that I think the female talent on SNL is stronger.
I think there's
so much like, and just female stand up.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a ton of super solid, really great female stand up coming out. Like,
I do feel like there didn't used to be. And I don't think that's because women aren't funny. I feel like that's more of
it's a male dominated.
Right. And I think it's harder for a female comic to rise.
Yeah, because me thinking back, like before Amy Schumer and Nikki Glazer, Eliza Schlesinger, like I'm trying to think back, like, okay, Rita Rudner, all right, that was a long fucking time ago. Paula Poundstone. And it feels like there's just like, in my memory, there's a huge fucking gap between Paula Poundstone and Amy Schumer.
Yeah. Well, one of them is really funny. I'll let you figure out which one.
I am, honestly, I'm a little burned out on Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
But I love Kristen Wiig. And you're right, I love... you just said Annette. No, it's not Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones.
And then I think the funniest person on SNL right now is Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
I think Kate McKinnon, everything she does, all of her impressions, everything, Kate McKinnon is amazing.
Yeah. Kristen Wiig, I think, is my least favorite out of that lineup. But honestly, like I loved her in that trailer. And I think she's going to be good in the movie. Like I have faith that
so
all of them are going to be good in the movie.
Are they all paralleled to the original four?
Are you saying that because there's one black person?
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I thought Kate McKinnon was supposed to be Egon.
Yeah.
But then again, Kate McKinnon's character, Kristen Wiig's character is like the genius, like the mathematical calculus genius. But I guess that could be Ray. I
don't know. It does kind of seem like they're paralleling it, but I don't know. At the same time,
and Leslie Jones is Winston, just because they're the
right.
They're the black touchstone character that keeps them grounded in reality.
Exactly. Well, and just like in the original Ghostbusters, like the Ray, Egon, and Peter form the Ghostbusters, and then Winston comes along and applies and gets a job.
Yeah.
And it's like it seems like that's how it is in the trailer too, because you see the three women, the three white women, and then you see Leslie Jones's character, I think, working at a Subway.
Yeah, comes in to do PR because they don't know how to talk to people. so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I hope that they don't.
I'm looking at the IMDb cast. And
for the new movie?
For the new movie, okay. And they don't have roles listed, but credited cast: Sigourney Weaver, Bill Murray, Annie Potts, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson.
Can I tell you, I'm super excited about Annie Potts being in this movie. Like, that's not a joke.
I mean, we claimed her dead a year ago.
I know. Well, she's a ghost. She's a ghost in this movie. They got to bust her.
Although, I'm sad to not see
Slimer,
not
the gorilla.
Rick Moranis.
Oh yeah, he's done.
I don't see him listed.
He's.
I'd heard he retired, but then I also heard like he was in for another Ghostbusters. Like he had signed on. Like his kids were grown. He didn't have to take care of them. Like
because his wife died, right?
And his wife died from cancer, and he retired to take care of his kids.
Yeah.
Do not see him listed.
I would love to see him in a movie again. I think that would be pretty neat.
John Gotti Ghost, credited.
Who is that?
Who plays John Gotti Ghost?
John Gotti's ghost?
Yeah. It doesn't say John Gotti's ghost, just John Gotti Ghost. So Arthur Hiel, congratulations on being John Gotti Ghost.
Yes,
we know you listen to the show.
Is Blake Anderson in the movie?
I don't see him, but
how about Frank Caliendo?
Phil Skippy Adams on the show as scared NYC pedestrian, uncredited. I'm going deep. I'm going deep.
Jonathan Brandis? Jonathan Brandis ghost?
I don't remember. God, what's the last thing you remember Jonathan Brandis being in? I remember him being in like a Christmas movie with Jessica Biel. That's the last thing I remember him being in.
Who's
I have to look it up.
Who's playing Pops Ghostly?
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. is Pops Ghostly. That's great. I'm totally on board.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Okay, where are you, my friend?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. What brought that on? Is he in this movie?
Well, you'd asked if you just made a comment about him being on, didn't you?
Jonathan Brandis.
Jonathan Brandis. Never mind. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Same thing. He was on Tim Allen's show.
Interesting.
Last Man Standing.
They're bringing it back. Do you think they're slowly bringing Home Improvement back? They're just going to get like one cast member after the other?
Yeah. Then otherwise, it's just like little things here and there. He was on Smallville for a few episodes. Pretty much, yeah. He's basically done.
Who did he play in Smallville?
A villain. He and the kid who plays his older brother in Home Improvement.
Wait, what? They were both in Smallville
They're both
at the same time? Please tell me they played their characters from Home Improvement who like got like superpowers for like one of Tim's.
Man, I feel like they were in the same episode. Like they were in different episodes and then came together in the same episode.
Does
like
Jill defeat them?
Well, yeah.
Through the power of mothering.
I feel like one had fire powers and one had ice powers, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then,
they were able to take down Freddy and Jason. Oh, man. Smallville is something I missed out on completely.
He was a big character in the Wild Thornberrys. Did not know that.
I heard Rhythm Master Paul Korn told me that the Hey Arnold movie got greenlit or something.
Oh,
like that.
man.
I'm not really super... I maybe saw like one episode of Hey Arnold.
I fucking loved Hey Arnold. Oh, yeah? Man. Because I know there was a show that was supposed to go to MTV and be at the Patakis and about a high school, college age Helga. But they thought it was too dark and canceled it.
I'm honestly like I have no feelings about that show, but I do remember when Ren and Stimpy went to MTV and it was not good. It was just different. It felt just like when Doug went to ABC. Yeah.
That was so bad.
And it's like they just made these weird like right out of the gate they made really weird art direction choices where they're like, yeah, well, we got to make this our own. We just got to randomly change the color palette of this entire show. And I don't know.
Roger Klotz wins the lottery, becomes a billionaire, and Patty Mayonnaise cuts her hair. Pixie cut. There you go.
Well, they wanted to pick up where Roseanne left off. So this is the animated continuation of Roseanne. You're welcome.
Still frustrated. Still so frustrated.
I would kickstart. I'd pay money to a Kickstarter for the animated continuation of Roseanne.
It's like Clerks, but yeah.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's Clerks, the animated series. Do you have that, by the way? Do you have that still, or did you sell it with your big old bin full of DVDs?
For Clerks?
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore.
Man, that sucks. I've been looking.
I can get it, but
I've been looking for a Blu-ray version, but I do not think that they've released it in high def.
I doubt it.
It's a bummer. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I like the new Ghostbusters trailer. And I say this.
I like it. I think it'd be good.
I'm not saying I'm sorry to you. I'm saying I'm sorry to the internet who's listening to this now, who we've probably lost about 50% of our subscribers just from me saying I don't think this trailer looks that bad.
I'm highly skeptical it will be good as Ghostbusters 2, but I'm going to bet it may be on par with Ghostbusters 1.
See, I think 1 is
Do
great.
you like 1 is better?
I
You
think
like 1 better?
I do like 1 better. Although 2 had some real scary moments in it, man, that I remember. Because 2 is the one. Isn't 2 the one where? This is awful. I can't remember which one it's in. I think it's 2 where, and this still haunts me. Like I used to have nightmares about this weekly. There's a scene where there's a woman wearing a fur coat, and then when all
that's 2, I think, and where he turns into like the fur coat.
Yeah,
like,
all the seal heads pop out and start running down the street.
Pretty sure that's 2.
I think it's 2, and that was terrifying. It still is kind of terrifying. So like I feel like they were like, okay, here's the deal, and I'll say like 1 more time. We're gonna make sure that this generation of children are scared of furs. Like this is how we're gonna combat the furring industry. Is we're gonna put this 1 30-second scene in this movie. And it worked.
Because I remember the River of Slime kind of got to me.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bathtub full of slime, like, coming after the baby.
Yeah. Oscar.
But I really hope that there are some, like, that it's just not all comedy. I hope they have, like, those moments where it's like that in the movie. A moment of, like, tense, possibly scary sort of tension or anything like that.
I meant to say this earlier. Like when I was a kid and I first saw Ghostbusters, I did not realize that it was a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought, and I guess at that point in my life, I was probably like, I don't know, like 7 or something like that. I didn't really even know genres were a thing. It's all just a movie. Like there's movies and they're television shows. Like genre, it wasn't even a concept. So it didn't really even strike me as a funny movie. It was I thought it was kind of goofy, and I knew my parents laughed when we watched it. But other than that, I didn't really think of it as a comedy. And then when I got older and watched it, I was like, oh yeah, this is totally a comedy. And I don't know if that has something to like do with skewing how this new trailer looks, because like I feel like, going on what you just said, I feel like this trailer for the new movie, like 100% like comedy.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the only thing that will let me down about it.
Yeah, and it might. I mean, but then again, the trailer. Who knows what the trailer's showing us, and if that's all it's going to be. It can't be, right? Like it can't just be ghost jokes on ghost jokes on ghost jokes.
I really think they're holding back.
Yeah,
because I can see that being a choice where, I mean, really, God, so many fucking movies now are just like, I see the trailer, I'm like, I don't need to see that movie. I really have no need to see that. That's everything.
Yeah, you told me the story.
Everything I want to ask. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So,
all right. Well, I like that.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to talk about that, because I've been like, I feel like I haven't been able to talk to anybody about this.
Yeah.
And now I got this on my chest. I feel good, and I'm glad I'm not alone.
You could talk to upwards of 4,000 people now.
I know.
We broke through the 4,000 listen ceiling.
2,000 now.
Yeah,
because of what we just said about Ghostbusters, we've dropped
2014 again.
Yeah, our Patreon actually just bottomed out. Tyler?
Yes, Dave.
Are you going to go see Weird Al in August when he comes to Paducah, Kentucky, where we live?
Nope.
You're not going to?
No.
You don't like Weird Al?
No, I like Weird Al okay.
What's wrong with Weird Al, Tyler?
I like Weird Al. I just don't really like music very much. So me going to a venue to see a concert, it's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I like Weird Al, but I'll just listen to the CD. It's fine.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my tickets. I am going. I'm not missing this opportunity. I already missed Carlin when he was at the Carson Center here in town. And Seinfeld. Like those are two.
Cosby.
Or it's just, whatever.
Gallagher.
Gallagher? I missed Gallagher?
Town.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
Gallagher too?
I still don't know.
Yeah, so I'm not missing this one. I'm going to go see Weird Al. It's so rare that we get somebody where it's like, oh, I recognize that name. Like, that is so rare.
Kanye West came to Murray.
That is true. There's a weird story about that.
Yeah, 120 people came to see him. He was pissed off about it. Yeah, it was weird. That was my senior year of high school, I think. Yeah, my senior year.
I still haven't listened to his new album because he's holding it ransom. You know about that, yeah?
Oh, it's only on Tidal?
On Tidal, yeah. And I fucking refuse to subscribe to that.
I'm with you.
Just not going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, man, really?
Is that his music service?
Yeah, I think he and Jay-Z own it. So I'm sure other people own it too, but I know that they're like two big names in it.
We gotta get TADPOG on Tidal, dog.
Yeah. What do you think Tidal stands for? Because TADPOG's Tyler and Dave play all games. What do you think Tidal's for?
Titus integrates digital
Titus, the old sitcom?
artistless labels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the mastermind behind.
Titus is actually Jay-Z's real name. I don't know if you knew that.
Actually the same person as the comedian. It's weird.
Jay-Z.
If you look close, have you ever seen
Jay-Z
him?
is Christopher Titus in blackface.
Have you ever seen
Pretty
him
sure.
at the same time?
No,
You haven't, have you?
I have not.
So yes, I'm going. I don't know if I haven't listened to a Weird Al in a long time.
I haven't either. Not
a
since
long
like
time.
Gangster's Paradise. Like that's the last time I listened to Weird Al. I know he still does plenty of stuff, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard it.
I can't remember the name of the album that White and Nerdy was on, but I remember listening to that track a lot when it came out. So yeah, I've got some homework to do. I gotta listen to a bunch of Weird Al. So,
Or don't, and just be surprised when you go to the concert.
yeah, I mean that's an option too.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not gonna listen to a comedian CD before I go to see him on his show.
That's a lie.
Get it
Come
off,
on,
get
you
it all
know.
fresh. Get it all
No,
fresh.
Come on.
It's like who does it? Like Patton Oswalt does the thing about that. Like
Oh yeah.
when you go to see a singer in concert, you just want to hear the same shit you've heard a million times,
Yes.
but like does not fly for a comedian. Like I remember when we went to see the comedians at comedy, people were calling out bits for him to do.
Oh, yeah.
His mind was fucking blown that we
Yeah.
were doing that. Still under our breakfast treats. Are you guys fucking serious? All right.
That has got to be like, I don't know, what could you yell out that would be the equivalent of like yelling out "Freebird" when you're at like a Kanye West concert? Like smash a watermelon. Was that the equivalent?
For like what a comedian
Just a
would do?
comedian. Yeah, what would you yell at a comedian?
7 dirty words.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but that's good. I don't know. I think is Freebird a good song?
Damn, I don't know if I've ever even heard of Freebird. So
It's a long song.
when people say honest to God, people say Freebird, the image that pops up in my mind is the Phoenix bird power up in Illusion of Gaia. Like every time, that's where that route goes for me.
Yeah. Do you think
Free Dan and Phoenix Bird, Freebird. Freebird, yeah, I like that power up too. It was boss. Shadow was overpowered as fuck, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's good.
He fucking got you through that pyramid. Fuck, dog.
We have an episode on that, listener. If you haven't listened
Yeah.
yet.
Like our 4th or 5th longest one, probably.
Yes. I want to get, big shout out to the students of Paducah Tillman High School who apparently listen to this show.
Yeah.
So, hey, what's up, you cool high schoolers?
You on fleek motherfuckers.
On fleek AF.
On fleek.
That's where I went to school. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm your what you got to look forward to.
Well,
Listen real hard.
14 more years is what you have to look forward to.
You'll be here. You'll be.
You'll move away. You'll fucking come back though, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You have babies here. You'll go out and realize you have your babies here.
Yeah.
If you don't have them already, who knows?
You probably do.
Yeah. I mean, everyone that went to my high school has them. They're here, so it's fine.
You did have the baby high school.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Josh Edwards sent me something.
All right.
We've talked about in the past. We've talked about the we like maps here. We love maps of the United States here at this podcast. We've talked about
Maps and periodic tables.
just maps on periodic tables, you name it. We even talked about at one point, I think it was probably a couple years ago, we talked about the pornography map where I can't remember.
Oh, the search terms by state?
Yeah, the porn
Yeah.
search terms by state. Thank you. And I remember distinctly looking at Kentucky and being surprised. Oh, it's hentai. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's different now, though.
It is different now. Josh Edwards sent me a link, which is opening right now. This is from vocative.com. Link to that will be in the show notes.
Vocative for all your vocation needs.
There's a really cool scrambled porn American flag. I do like that graphic. That's nice. So as of right now, I don't know if we've upgraded or downgraded or made a lateral move from
I feel like
Kentucky.
It's all lateral moves.
Yeah, from Kentucky being a hentai state, we are now a stepmom state.
Stepmom.
So, I mean, that's not helping the whole like incest image of our state.
Nope. Hey, it's stepmom though. Like
it is stepmom, not mom. That's how they get away with it, though.
Big difference. Big difference.
That's essentially the equivalent of having an anime where there's a 12-year-old looking girl, and they just make you know right out the gate, right up front. Hey, there's no way this is child porn. I know she looks like she's 12. She's 26. That's how they get around like everything in anime. It's like no. She's ancient, actually. So the joke's on you.
It's the 12-year-old and she's blowing a birthday cake with like a fuck ton of candles
she's
on
600 years old. Well, now
she's a vampire.
You ageist.
I remember there's a Cinemax movie I remember watching back in the day called like The Seduction of Misty Monday.
I'm not familiar.
And I say
with
back in the day, it was probably like a year ago. So I remember watching this movie and it being sort of weird. Like the girl is supposed to be like a senior in high school. Not particularly attractive, but I remember it being like she was from like a repressive family and goes to stay with her aunt. And she ends up like going out with somebody and losing her virginity and like, you know, softcore.
Okay, so this is a porn.
This is a porn. And
because it sounds like it also could be a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. She ends up talking to her aunt about like, I gave him a blowjob and he didn't really, you know, look like he was into it, and we had sex and he won't call me back. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So like she was like, okay, hey, well, you know, I'm a lesbian after all, and somebody's coming over tonight, so you should just watch us hook up. So then she watches her aunt go down another girl and vice versa for a while. And this happens like 1 or 2 times. And then she asks her aunt to help her masturbate, to teach her how to do that. So she vaguely teaches her how to do that.
So wait, is this softcore or no?
It's softcore.
Okay.
And then she ends up like, then she has sex with the guy, and he's all into it this time because she knows what she's doing.
Well, how does she learn from...
I don't know.
Okay.
How does she learn from watching all the girl stuff?
Women.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
And the last scene in the movie is her and her aunt finally like going down on each other and having sex. And the next scene after that, they're at the breakfast table, and then the aunt is like, I mean, you know, I'm really like your step aunt. I'm not really. I remember watching that like, okay. Like for people who were just like jerked off and came and then felt really bad, but didn't change the channel and heard that were like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's put those
totally
people in air
different.
quotes. Those people who masturbated to this that felt bad.
No, we talked about this. I have to have cock in my porn. So if it's girl on girl, that was fine back in the day, but now it's got to be fucking.
I thought maybe the incest ramped it up to like, to like where you can hang with it. Oh man,
yeah, because I was still hard afterwards. She just said that. I just like, fuck. Threw the lube to the ground and stormed out.
There's nothing that like kills it for me when like I'll be watching
and finding out they're not related.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh, what's the point? I'll be watching the video and then like out of the blue. Like it doesn't even need to happen, but the woman will say, "Oh, I'm glad you had a good day at school today, son." And we're getting back on the webpage. Great. We just totally ruined this video for me. Thank you. Here's the West. I don't know if you saw this big red block in the West.
Oh yeah.
Just lesbian.
Just lesbian.
Lesbian porn.
From California to Texas.
And then like Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Iowa, that kind of area, lesbian. And then we're in this strip of non-lesbian north to south, and then it continues on in the east. So I think Josh had brought this to our attention because we were talking about girl on girl really didn't do a whole lot for us. And it's good reason because we are not in a girl on girl state.
We cross over and we move up into like, when we go to Alabama, we're suddenly like, yeah, let's watch some girl on girl. Let's do that.
Yeah. Alabama's there, right next to Mississippi, which searches for ebony.
Yep, of course it is. Of fucking course it is.
And then Louisiana searches for black. I don't know why.
Of course it is.
I don't know why one searches for black and the other searches for ebony.
I guess. I mean, there are. New Orleans has plenty of black people.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess
No.
they would just search. They would just search for black. But white people, not wanting to even be racist in their porn searches, type in ebony.
Mississippi has a higher black population than Louisiana.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and I think it's there's actually an interesting correlation because it's like the three states. There's two states, Georgia and Mississippi. Their highest search term is ebony, and then Louisiana's highest search term is black. And those are like three of the highly populated states, highly black population states. So I think it's honestly like it's rare for me to like just open up a tab, go to Pornhub or whatever, and like to see a black person like on the front page. Like, I mean, I have to like if
Female.
What?
Black female, you mean?
Okay, yeah, sure, yes,
Yeah.
it's
I feel like black men.
yeah.
Pretty predominant
For
on
days.
Pornhub, but
Yeah, that's
black
true.
females. Yeah, you're right. I don't see very many.
Like, and so in order for me to find that, like, I have to search for it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like I could go page for page for page, and I could probably go, I'm guessing, 20 pages before I run across a black woman. So I get it.
And it's Jada Fire. So yeah.
Yeah. So I get like why those would be search terms in those states, but I do also think there's some of what you said. I do think there's like some very racist white people in
The
those
Daily
states.
Show did a report about how racist porn is. And like it's like
very racist,
It's one of
right?
the last bastions where
Oh, yeah.
a girl can just actively, or any actor can just say like, no, I don't want to deal with a black person, and it just be like, okay, cool, like, and it just be like, I remember also reading a thing like I feel like it was Lisa Ann maybe that talked about it a long time ago. Like once you do an interracial scene, that like for a lot of places you're almost considered like marked, and then you basically will only do interracial scenes from then on. Like that there's just this very racist division in porn.
I believe it. I also think that like it's probably more frequent there. Just honestly, I would imagine like just in general preference is probably more like prevalent in porn because it's like I mean there's probably women who like who have like weird preferences where it's like yeah I mean because like I don't know clearly I have never been
He can fuck me in my ass, but he better not look at it. Cannot look at
right
it.
like stuff like that right or it's like well he can't like these are the places on my body and like she pulls out the butcher chart like these are the places where he may finish and then of course there's those videos where the man finishes somewhere that she is not designated an okay area and then she gets fake mad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like those oops I got pregnant videos.
Yeah.
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 oops I got pregnant.
Yep.
It's the Captain Crunch
It's like
oops all berries.
the scene starts off, hey, I'm not on birth control.
Right.
Don't come inside me. I won't.
It's fine.
I'm coming. Oh, pull out. What are you doing?
You know what makes it super realistic is the 3 minutes after he finishes inside her where the close up on her vagina just oozing semen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're really that scared, I'm sure you'd be jumping up and running to like
Yeah.
try and get it out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, she gives up on it pretty quick.
And she's like,
No, don't do it.
"Oh,
Well,
no.
okay, all right. Well, whatever.
I'm pregnant. Womp womp.
Get the turkey baster. Let's get this out of here.
All right, Ghostbusters porn. It's pretty good.
Ghostbusters
Pretty
forward.
good. Now Ghostbusters porn.
Have you been reading or watching or playing anything?
This week, 3 of my online classes ended, so I have not. 'Cause it's been a boatload of.
So you've been
final
reading a lot of
projects.
school stuff.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about electricity and hydraulics.
It's good.
Yep. And leadership, oddly enough.
Are there any good fiction books about electricity, hydraulics, and leadership all together? Like if you were to go on Amazon right now and just type in those search terms, do you think that a book would come up?
You probably get Infamous 2.
Is it the novelization?
I'd hope so. Makes sense.
Some kind of Tesla fan fiction?
Ryan is playing a game right now. He got off the internet super cheap called Sunset Overdrive for Xbox One. And he's like, I don't know, it got some pretty scathing reviews, but I really like it. And I watched him play
I've heard of it.
I was like, this is 100% straight up an infamous ripoff.
Oh, yeah.
Because watching him like grind on rails and all this shit, I was like, they just straight up lifted this from Infamous. Because Infamous is a PS4 exclusive series.
Bumping rails.
Bumping rails.
I started my long journey. I took my first steps into a bigger, Forgotten Realms world. I started the very first Forgotten Realms book ever written by Douglas Niles.
What's that? Elminster?
No, it's Darkwalker on Moonshae, and it's set in the Moonshae Isles. It's Elminster's not, he doesn't exist yet, so this is pre-Elminster. I think it was written in...
Who's the villain? Like Manshoon? I'm trying to think of old...
The Beast. The Beast is. I can't remember his name.
The Beast is also the villain in Infamous and Infamous 2. I'm serious.
Well, this came out like, I think 83, I'm guessing. So fuck you, Infamous 2. Look, Tyler, I know you think everything was ripped off.
It's all Infamous 2, man. Or people being bald, Infamous 2. Fat sidekick, Infamous 2.
State Puff Marshmallow Man, Infamous 2.
Girl who loves you but dumps you, Infamous 2.
So I've really just taken my first step because I have completed the first chapter. Mm-hmm. So
how is it?
So far, it's good.
Yeah,
it's like surprisingly good. Like they've already setting up like almost like a Game of Thrones style multi-person narrative, which I thought was really surprised me because I figured it was going to be just a real simple, like straightforward. Here's the main protagonist, and it just follows him throughout. But like in the first chapter, the first chapter's long, and they already kind of like tell the story from different points of view. And like there's like some Northmen raiders that they're talking about, and it's like, oh well, shit. Clearly, they're gonna reach the Isles at some point, and then this beast is going to be on the Isle. So far, I like it. I hear that these books get really, really bad. And Elminster, I hear, is where it gets nuts. So
I can see Elminster being like kind of a problem where a DM gets too invested in one of their own NPCs.
That's what I've heard.
It makes their NPC the star amongst the PCs, and I can see where that is a thing.
I've heard. I haven't read any of the books with Elminster in it, but I do hear that he is like a god. Like he's essentially just like,
oh yeah,
you need something done. I'll cast Deus Ex Machina, and everything's.
Well, Elminster's is like Forgotten Realms' answer to Raistlin, the all powerful mage of. Is that Dragonlance? Maybe another big series.
Don't get me lying to you. I've heard the name, but I do not know what series. I'll look it up.
Because like Elminster is quite powerful. He fucked the goddess of magic. Like. He's just, Elminster's the end all be all.
I don't know how I'm going to do in this journey. Because
I used him once in one of my games one time.
You used Elminster?
I did.
You used Elminster?
I did.
I don't think I was in that game.
It was you might not have been there because I know it was basically a treat for McElwain because McElwain loves Elminster. Uh-huh. So like he had done some kind of request, and Elminster showed up and gave him a piece of information and gave him his pipe.
Okay.
And then left, and that was it.
Okay.
Because I don't like, if I ever did a Forgotten Realms character, like I would never, or Forgotten Realms game, I would not use Elminster, Dritz, like no iconic NPCs, period.
That's like a pretty common rule, I think, that DMs, like from what I've read on like Reddit and in like Facebook groups, people are constantly saying, don't introduce...
you can't do it. You can't do it justice.
Yeah. Because it's just no matter what, that character is going to overshadow your PCs. Mm-hmm. It does not matter. So I don't know.
It's an issue I run into with my ACV series of games. Is like it makes common sense when like there's a big bad that you're going to have trouble with. Just go ask someone more powerful than you to help out.
Yeah.
It makes sense character-wise.
Well, and exactly. And then if you're the DM in that game, you have to be like, oh, no, I'm busy with all the giants in this world.
Yeah, you're the chosen ones on this adventure, friends.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dick. You could just fucking sneeze and this would be over, but no.
That's one thing I do like the Iron Druid series. Because they play ball with all the gods and all the pantheons. And they do it well when they'll justify like, all right, I mean, Atticus needs this. He'll go ask a goddess to help him, and she'll help him and do it within like the limits of her power and blah blah blah. Like the author there makes it work, so it can be done well. But that's like the only series I can think of it where it's done, where the logical thing is done well.
Yeah. I want to read that series because everything you've told me about it sounds really cool.
It starts off kind of I mean, it starts off as a Dresden ripoff pretty heavily and then gets better.
Yeah. And I want to read, obviously, I want to read the Dresden Files too.
I want you to read the Dresden Files
gush
just so I can run a Dresden Files game.
Well, and my favorite thing I've heard about the Dresden Files RPG is how it begins and how like don't like all the players kind of like take part in like the world building and stuff like that?
I made one. Yeah, I ran a short Dresden Files game with people from seminary, and the character creation is like you create all your characters together so that they all sort of interlink.
They make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's really, really nice, and that like the system, the players help drive the story in that like there was a moment between my friend Sarah's character was like a very high school preppy girl who had a crush on, not a crush, but she was being nice to Blake's character who was like
Blake Anderson.
Oldbreaker Blakewood's character who was because sort of a poor, ill-dressed, they were working on a project together. And they're at the mall picking up things for their project, and popular guy comes out of his store toward them. So then I offer, because it's built in, like, so I offer Sarah, it's like, you can spend one of your event tokens and he won't see you and he'll go buy you. Or he can see you and you can have this consequence and I will give you an event token.
Cool.
Or things like that.
Cool.
Like the example in the book is like, that player who's playing Harry is fighting these ice monsters. And of course he has a fire spell. And so he casts the fire spell and then the GM says, if you want to be slightly inaccurate with your fire spell and it lands on the building, it also spills off into the building beside this one and catches fire, I will give you a token for that. So it's, then you can have the choice.
It sounds really story driven.
Very, very story driven.
Because and I like that. They do something similar in Burning Wheel, where you can, like, if you succeed on something, like if you make a successful roll, you can use a flaw or a trait of yours against it to make it a non-success and gain essentially a token that you can use for story reasons. I like that mechanic. That like.
Or not, it doesn't have to be even story. Like you could use those tokens to amp up a stat so you can succeed at a challenge or something like that. Like there's a variety of things you can do.
Cool.
The only negative about Dresden Files is like if you're not a wizard or some kind of magical being, it's not going to be that fun for you. A vanilla human has its uses, but it's ultimately not going to be as fun as wielding magic that you kind of like, you're very loose and free and it's on your imagination, you know, and you have to make your check and blah, blah, blah. But
so there's no benefit to just being a non-magic user?
I mean, there is in certain ways, like
a muggle. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, if you're a vanilla human that you choose to be one of the Knights of the Cross.
Can't be a chocolate human? Why not?
Yeah.
What are we in Mississippi?
There's like the Knights of the Cross are this order took the nails that were in Jesus' hands and feet and forged them into weapons. Okay, Amarachius, cool. Esperachius, and Fetalachius. Okay. Which means like the love of Christ and the compassion of Christ and things. I can't remember exactly. But then they start their order where there are always these three knights that carry each of these swords somewhere in the world, and they're either together or separate or whatever, and they're constantly battling. He does a very good job with Christian faith in the Dresden Files. Like, Harry Dresden, he's not an atheist, but like he's definitely not a Christian. He he has to deal with angels, he has to deal with demons, and he sort of thumbs his nose at all of them. Yeah. But like basically, Michael Carpenter is essentially a paladin in that game, and he's written so well to be like what a modern day paladin would be. And he has a
paladin dance. You mean
paladin dance? He has what essentially like I think he has Amarachius, which is like a great sword, and he wears full plate emblazoned with crosses and things like that into battle. Yeah, and I think about those.
So it's like Dogma almost.
Yeah, almost. And it like if you need them for a good purpose, no matter where you are in the world, a knight will show up to help you when you need it the most, and like that's their whole thing. Cool. And so it is in the rules where you can play a Knight of the Cross and things like that.
And that's everything. That's just a regular normal human's role, or
you basically have to be a normal human.
Oh shit, that sounds good. That sounds like a good payoff.
But then you have to play. That's like playing a paladin in D&D. You have to play your paladin. You have to play a very certain way.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's frustrating. Like you see what's very, very cool. One of my favorite things in the Dresden Files is all the 30 pieces of silver that Judas was paid to betray Christ. Each one of those is basically infused with a fallen angel.
Okay.
And that's this order, the Order of the Blackened Denarius. And whenever a human picks one of these up, basically then they're possessed. Not completely. They sort of fight for control. And the demon's constantly tempting them, or the fallen angel tempting them to let them take over. And once they take over, then they sort of compete and share this body in this form. And essentially the Knights of the Cross is their biggest enemy, is fighting
those demons,
trying to get these coins and destroy them or hide them away or whatever, to try and rid them. And like a lot of like the leader has been like around for 1,000 years. Like all these huge cataclysmic events in human history are because of him and things like that. And like at one point they have like one of them down. Like one of the main ones is down, and Harry's excited and about to finally kill them.
Yeah.
And the guy falls on his knee, smirking, just says like, "Please forgive me. Please give me another chance. I'm sorry. I repent."
Is it because he's used to dealing with angels or something?
Oh, he's used to dealing with paladins.
Okay.
Because then Michael is about to smite him, and then stops and puts his sword away. And Harry's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
You get him. He's like, "Anybody that repents deserves Christ's love, and I can't do it." So then even though the demon is like smirking,
and then hopefully Harry smokes his ass.
No, he can't.
Spoilers.
Michael can't. Michael has to stop him.
Oh, gotcha.
So like there is still like
fucking Michael
things going on. Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
But he's such a good character though.
Cool. It sounds cool. Have you ever listened to Fear the Boot? It's a podcast, like a role-playing podcast that's been around for I think 10 years. It sounds in line with something that they like have talked about over and over and over again. Like one of their core concepts is that every group needs a group template. So like they're very much like they'll do like before a game starts, they will do a session where everyone just kind of sits down, talks about what they want to play, like what kind of character they want to play, and how it works with the other people playing. And it's like so they build stories like based around. So they just spend a session building backstories that kind of interweave between all the characters.
That's good.
Then,
I like that.
And then they start playing, and they do it with D&D. They do it with BattleTech. I mean, they do it with pretty much any system that they play. So I like that the Dresden Files RPG kind of has something like that built in. That's pretty neat.
So because it was cool, like Blake's character was
Blake Anderson.
the homeless character, but he had ties to like he was a vanilla human, but he had spent points because you have these points you can spend like because you can also be like. There are 3 orders of vampires in that book.
There's what? Vampires?
3 orders of vampires.
Okay.
The black, well, there are more, but the ones that are focused on are the black, the red, and the white.
Okay.
And red ones are sort of your, I guess, more of your traditional, but once they bite you, they infect you, and you're basically a half vampire until you kill somebody. Then the full transformation takes over. So you can spend points and be like it's like the Order of Saint Jerome or something like I can't remember where you're essentially a half vampire, but you have like 10 points and it takes like 6 because this is a more powerful template to be one of them. Or you can spend 3 and have an object of power that you don't know what it is or not, and that'd be your thing. So Blake was a vanilla mortal, but he had an object of power, which I didn't tell him, but it was a blackened denarius, one of the coins. So and then
spoilers.
But he was that game. I wish that game was still going, but I hadn't read it up enough to really understand what the game was going on. I tried getting my feet wet, but it was.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like everything that you've said about the Dresden Files kind of reminds me of like why I love the Hellboy comics, and I love the Hellboy comics because it takes like Christian belief, it takes just theology in general, it takes folklore. European, Eastern European, Western European folklore, some American, and then it just kind of meshes them all together into like create this world where like it all is real and it all really exists. And like seeing that stuff is really neat. You talking about the vampires reminded me of that. And the fallen angels and stuff like that.
Because Iron Druid and Dresden Files are both similar in that anything that humans believe in sincerely
Yeah.
becomes real.
Yeah, you were telling me about like, I mean, if your kid is still in the room after you heard us talk about incest porn, go ahead and get rid of them for just a minute, because like in one of your games you're talking about like it was revolved around Santa Claus, right?
Mm-hmm. Or that's what I wanted to do. It was like,
Oh shit! Spoilers.
the game's dead. But yeah, that's what, because you believe in Santa Claus, people do. So Santa Claus in the Dresden Files is real. He is an unseelie fae. So
I love that.
One of my things was he
cool.
was going to be taken from
He's a jolly old
from
elf.
Macy's, whatever. The actual one was there, and they trapped him with seals and things like that and got away with him.
I like it. I want to read those books. I
But-
do. I need to get through some really, really bad Forgotten Realms
Yeah.
books first.
Iron Druid is a lot more heavy-handed with it than Dresden Files is.
Yeah.
Because like Atticus deals frequently with gods of every pantheon. He meets Jesus, he hangs out with Jesus, he has a beer with Jesus, which Jesus is like, he's like, yeah, Jesus, I never really see you nearly as much as anybody else, because I hate coming to Earth, man, because I could only appear on Earth as people see me, and everyone sees me in pain on the cross, and it's like, no, I'm not. That's how I have to appear. No, I'm not going to do that.
Which book is this?
It's an early Iron Druid, yeah.
All right, I'll read the Dresden Files first. Because that sounds like a weird sketch.
He fights. I mean, he's being hunted by the entire like Norse pantheon at one point and the Greek pantheon at one point. He's allied with the Irish pantheon because druids are unique in that world. And like, so there's Earth, and then there are all the realms outside of that, and you can't go. The Norse pantheon can't just travel and go to the Greek pantheon. They have to go like to Earth first. You can only go to another pantheon or anything else within like one step.
So Earth is like
without
the gateway?
somebody else letting you in.
Okay.
Except for druids, because they're bound to Earth instead of another realm. They're the only magic users that can freely go anywhere the fuck they want.
Cool.
So they can go. They could sneak anybody on basically uninvited. Because
Okay.
like Thor can't go.
They're traffickers.
Right. Yeah, they can be, because Thor can't go over and fight like Dionysus on his own. But if he was with a druid, he could. Otherwise, he has to have permission.
It's lucky for Dionysus.
Yep. Yep. And Thor, because it's interesting because like he takes the literal meaning of all these pantheons and not like the dressed up versions.
Uh-huh.
So like Zeus is a fucking insane, fucks everything,
Sure.
constantly
Yeah.
mad-eyed, huge hard-on constantly. Thor is just a prick who everyone hates. Like, it's literal text-based gods and goddesses in that book.
Cool. I want to read it. I do. And I've been saying that for fucking years. Since you've talked about the Dresden Files, I've been like, yeah, that sounds pretty neat.
Because I finished the latest Iron Druid book came out a few weeks ago, and I finished it on my last drive up from Clarksville. So it's because those books aren't really that long on audio, anywhere from 7 to 10 hours, maybe.
How was it?
Good. It was really good, because this is the one like
What's it called?
Staked is the latest one, and it's him fighting vampires, which druids were wiped out by vampires, because druids are basically a vampire's biggest weakness. Because druids are all about like tying, their magic is all about tying and untying knots, essentially.
Okay.
And if they see something in the magical spectrum, they can just untie it. And vampires are very loosely bound, so they just like see a knot behind the eyes and just like untie it. Vampire dies. They can eliminate. I mean, it's just all they have to do is speak a word, and vampires gone.
Fibermancy.
Yes.
How are we on time?
We're about out.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
So that was a great all-call show.
Yeah. You should talk about it. It's fine.
I had fun. I did. Like, this was like
Ghostbusters, then you got me going on fantasy. It's fine.
no, I fucking love this. I hope people listening liked this, because like this was, people have been like, our listeners are great, because like everyone has been very cool, where it's like, just do whatever format you want. Mm-hmm. Just do whatever format you want and have fun doing it. Don't stop doing the show, kind of deal. So that's really encouraging. That's really cool. So thank you.
Yes. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher, so don't miss the next episode, we'll be talking about X-Men for the Sega Genesis.
Yes. My favorite system.
The Sega Genesis. That was a very Fred Armisen pronunciation I did right there.
It was. I've always said that about you. You remind me so much of him.
He says some words like Fred Armisen.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's actually and the iTunes
He says
description.
that one word like Fred Armisen. We still love 5-star iTunes reviews. It's the biggest marketplace. We need it. Last I checked, we were up to 140, but I hadn't seen if a 5-star review had rolled in with that yet.
I learned something really weird about iTunes the other day. I hadn't heard about this ever. And it's weird because iTunes has been out for a really long time. Did you know that Apple got the idea of iTunes from Infamous 2?
Yeah, I did know that, actually. Because that's how Cole his electricity powers. He helps, he sends music and podcasts through his electricity powers to people's machines. I thought it was a pretty blatant ripoff, and I thought to be fairly honest.
Yeah, well, you would know.
Yeah. He's like, I made these capacitors for my power. What's that? Okay, well, I can store up to 1,000 songs on here. And I got this little rotary thing that I use.
I remember when that was like a big marketing thing where it's like, I guess that people who made MP3 players just assumed that everyone was dumb. And like instead of giving you like the actual capacity of the player, they would like measure it in songs. You put 1,000 songs on here, dog.
Yeah. I mean, granted, my mom wouldn't have. She wouldn't have known any better. Like, she told me the other day, like, we're out of data on our phones. Oh, man. I found out while I was using it. Ryan used 10,000 gigs on podcasts.
What?
And I was like, did he now?
Wow.
I mean, I knew he had a considerable amount of data, but all right. And Ryan used all of it on podcasts. Like, all right.
Biggest marketplace.
So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star written review, subscribe. If there's a guest host you want for an episode, a game you want us to play, or your Patreon request, please leave it there, and we promise we will get to it eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about X-Men for the Sega Genesis.
Genesis.
I can't do it. I can't. In the meantime, you can always find us at tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. You can see Phil's dicks there. You can see a photograph of the summoned Garmfield that Impresario Tony sent. Thank you, Impresario Tony. You can find all the things. You can find Freebird on there. I'll put a link to Freebird on there. Why not? You can also find us...
Illusion of Gaia! Yeah, did you like that?
That was good. You know what? I feel like you really captured the essence of Leonard Skinner there. You can also find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. Thank you, everybody there, for your comments and Exalted Lord Micah Purdue. Thank you for your Would You Rather that you snuck in there. If I read the wrong one, let me know, and I'll read the right one. Also, you can still call us, dude. You can call us, Exalted Lord Mike. We would love to hear from you. 270-883-2555. That goes for anybody else out there. Give us a call. Leave us a voicemail. Try to keep it under 3 minutes. You can also send a text, but I promise that I will fuck it up. You can find us on Twitter. We are at @tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome. I realize. Thank you very much to everybody who retweets us, especially our episode announcements, because that does help spread the word. And we really do appreciate that. What else? We have a Patreon.
We do.
I kind of don't want to bring it up because I know I have to thank people, and I do not have a list of people to thank.
Let me see. I can do this real quick.
Because we've had some people.
Ryan's got that good Wi-Fi in this room. That good Wi-Fi.
We've had some people up their donations. If you want to be one of our patrons, you can do so at patreon.com/tadpog. Thank you very, very much, those of you who already donate. I hope you've been enjoying the bonus episodes. We're going to keep those coming. You can get those for just chipping in at least $1 a month.
This guy games.
Yes.
He has upped his pledge.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that very much.
And I know Time Lord Josh Edwards upped as well.
I don't see that one coming through, but I believe you.
Well, this is actually how I get him to up his pledge.
Because I thought now that it updated, whenever you updated your pledge, you went back up to the top of the listing.
The list.
Which
I don't know.
Josh did not.
I got an email about it.
Okay, well, it happened
I
then.
got
So
an
thank you,
email about
Josh.
I'm just prophesizing. This is me trying to get more money out of Josh.
And we love these packages. Love them so much.
Yes.
And I feel like everybody else does too. I feel like they like us tasting good or gross snacks. Or anything or whatever.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I don't feel so great right now. And I do think it's because I ate all those chips. Yeah, I really do.
This won't spill over into X-Men at all.
Yeah, I can feel it
It's okay, because we're going to record both these on Sunday. So I'm going to take my sleepy time pills after this. So
oh, God, please.
So X-Men, so you got the chip sickies, and I'm going to have my sleep meds. It's going to be a good episode.
Go ahead and wait till Tuesday.
Wait. See you guys on Wednesday. If you want to send us some of these delicious packages, then please, Nicole Nance, very sweetly, still helping us out.
Yeah.
Hasn't charged us yet.
No.
So please, send something to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Yes. Thank you.
Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive.
Yes.
That track and I just kind of
Perfect. Just like
Fuck
Fred
at
Armisen.
the mole.
How you want to close it out?
Oh.
Elminster, right?
Yeah. Elminster. Yep. So until next time, tropical
Capricorn.
apart from my pipe, I fucked a goddess, you know that? From Elminster.
Hey, I want to make sure this comes to the board. That come through?
What? You're clicking? Yep.
How about this? Wah, 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 wah.
Yep.
All right. Okay, good. This one? Cheep, 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 cheep.
Just barely.
Okay.
We got it.
Good. I wanted to test the call, but this is taking forever to load. So.